PvP in this game is weird. I've talked about it once before, but I haven't really been able to get into the PvP with this game. Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2, 3 all had really cool communities for PvP, and I put in countless hours into each and every one of them, making wacky builds and joining fight clubs. You guys know what I'm talking about? If you're the host, you just sit there summoning phantoms while you get invaded, so you can host these 1v1s that people would have, and it's entertaining to just sit there and watch the battle play out, place bets on who's gonna win, and all of that good stuff. And I have to say, that just doesn't seem to exist in this game, and that's due to a couple of reasons. One, it's partly due to how invasions work. When you invade a host, they will almost always be in a multiplayer session, so you will always be invading, at a minimum, a host and one other phantom. And because this usually results in you being outnumbered, you almost always get ganked, which is just never a good time. For some reason, nobody seems to be on board with the idea of fight clubs anymore, and I don't know if that's because there have been so many new players coming into the genre with Elden Ring or what. But it's not even just about getting ganked during invasions. Because this game is so much more open than previous entries, half your time is spent running around trying to find the stupid host just so you can get the invasion over with. And it's not like you can use Torrent or anything because they disable his use during multiplayer sessions. So you're stuck running around on foot following this one emblem on your map that shows you the general direction the host is in. But it's not like it accounts for elevation, whether the host is above or below you, so it's not the biggest help in certain areas. Honestly, the way the multiplayer is structured just doesn't work as well within an open world this large. Again, the multiplayer worked well in previous games because there were only so many locations that a host could be, and by the time you're running invasions, you'll become more and more familiar with the level so that you'll be able to find the host quickly pretty much every time. You could also use the enemies as indicators as to whether the host had been through that area previously or not. If he had killed all the enemies in the room that you're in, then he was probably further up ahead. Otherwise, head back and go look around some more. There was no need for an indicator here because there were enough clues within the environment to help you look around. With Elden Ring, those same rules don't apply. Okay, sure, maybe he killed some enemies in the area that you're in, but he could have whipped around and gone the complete opposite direction because of how much bigger that area is, and you wouldn't even know it. So the solution here was to at least give you a little marker to follow so that you'd reliably be able to find the host. But that's just no fun at all. If there's anything I've learned from Ubisoft games, it's that following map markers is probably the worst and most lazy game design choice you could have in terms of being a guide for exploration. Following the clues in the bread trail in previous games was part of the fun during invasions, but now it's devolved into follow this line leading you right to the host and you'll get there eventually. So if 80% of the invasion is spent just looking for the host in Elden Ring, which is pretty boring, trust me, what about the last 20% of actually fighting the host? Well, let's talk about it. Again, usually you'll be in a 1v3 situation and half the time they'll be trying to afflict you with the madness status effect. This effect will have you stuck frozen in place for such a long time to the point that the host and friends will be able to jump on you like Pain did Jiraiya, and it's honestly pretty stupid because even if you roll away to dodge the spell that causes the affliction, all you'll manage to avoid is the raw damage that the spell causes. But the madness affliction buildup will still occur, even if you properly dodge the attack. What kind of idiocy is that? Who in their right mind thought that having the spell work like this is a good idea? Especially when we consider how devastating the affliction is when you get caught by it. And there's a lot of other stupid broken moves that we could talk about that make PvP super boring and unfair. Bloodhound Step, I'm looking at you. But I don't want to make this video super long. Just know that there are lots of people using the same broken spells with the same broken builds because it's the most optimal way to win at PvP. But that's not to say that I haven't seen some really cool builds in Elden Ring at the same time, so it's not all bad. It's just that I feel like there's some really broken shit in Elden Ring that I've seen that more people have gravitated towards than usual, especially when it comes to PvP. The best comparison I've seen around the internet lately is that this game straight up turned into anime Souls. Everyone's able to do these wild-ass Kamehameha blasts and instant transmission moves, when before the coolest thing you could do in Dark Souls 3 was make your weapon a flaming sword. Seriously, that's not even a joke. It's like all the Souls games were like Naruto Part 1, where everybody was able to do super simple but still cool shit, and now in Part 2 they're fighting gods, fighting on the moon, and that's just pretty much what Elden Ring feels like now.
Come on! God, I would've fucked him too. God, I fucking hate getting 2v1'd. Oh, and now I got a hunter on me too. Fuck yeah, dude. Ugh, come on. And I can't heal again, bro. Fuck off. Oh. God, dude, invasions in this game are fucking shitty.
On top of all of that, gone are the Covenants in Elden Ring. That was such a cool part of previous Souls games. Finding out how to join them and taking part in multiplayer events to get Covenant items to obtain rare weapons, equipment, and spells was such a cool idea. And that shit was thrown completely out the window in this game. I think this is another huge reason why PvP sucks in Elden Ring. It's because there's absolutely nothing to work toward. At least in Dark Souls, with every PvP battle you won, you obtained a Covenant item that you could go back and offer to your master for special rewards, so there was always a sense of progression, even if you were just dicking around in the multiplayer. In Elden Ring, the biggest reason to run invasions, duels, or just PvP in general are rune arcs? Who gives a shit about these? Their use is really negligible at best. I just don't think the Great Runes are nearly as compelling a system as Covenants were. So that's just another strike on the chalkboard for the amount of problems there are with the PvP in this game. That's not to mention all the disconnects that have continued to occur during multiplayer sessions. Multiplayer has always been kinda iffy with Souls games, but I don't remember it being this bad. Hopefully they're able to solve it with a patch one of these days, but I remember when I was trying to solo Malenia in a multiplayer session, I would keep getting disconnected before I was able to finish the fight, to the point where I just said screw the challenge in general, I just can't do this. It wasn't because I died or anything like that, the game would just force me out for no reason at all. For all these reasons and more, I can't say that the multiplayer or PvP within Elden Ring is something I can recommend trying out. It used to be something you could get lost in for hours and hours on end after you've beaten the game, and I understand that was only true for a select few fans of an already niche genre, but it's just a bit of a shame. And finally, my last nitpick, I promise. Dude, is this game dead or something on PC? Because I kept invading the same people over and over again, or it would just be searching for a world to invade forever so that I would have to go fast travel to a new area and then reuse the finger again just to get another invasion, and I would just have to be teleporting all over the place after doing one invasion. It seems like the PvP in this game is dead, and that is insane considering how popular this game has become. I mean, it was friggin' on a UFC mat, for God's sakes. Maybe this is just for the PC, I don't know how it is on console. Let me know down in the comments. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or they're never fixing the PvP in Elden Ring, I swear to Godfrey.
I'm stuck, motherfuck. Jesus Christ. Why can't I heal, man? What is this shit? Like, oh my god. Alright. I think that's enough footage for the video, guys.